The 67 greatest Disney Channel original movies of all time. Nostalgia warning. Be ready to be hit with nostalgia from your childhood. While the heyday of Disney Channel movies may be behind us, that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the classics over and over again. From High School Musical to Cadet Kelly, some of the DComs and non-DComs you grew up watching with your besties are even better now. Plus, sometimes you just need a feel-good film to put you in a good mood. 67. Alley Cat Strike, 2000. A group of hip retro teenage outsiders become involved in an inter-school bowling rivalry. Parents need to know that Alley Cat Strike is a family sports drama with many positive messages about a boy and his outsider friends who spend their spare time bowling. It is a feel-good Disney TV movie with some fun scenes and catchy music. 66. Underdog, 2007. After a lab accident gives him extraordinary powers, including the ability to speak, a canine, Jason Lee, declares himself the protector of Capital City, and especially of a fetching spaniel named Polly Purebred, Brad Garrett. Underdog must save the day when evil scientist Simon Bar-Sinister, Peter Dinklage, and his giant henchman, Patrick Warburton, hatch a plot to destroy Capital City. Rewatching Underdog for the first time in a long time. Honestly, Underdog is a much better movie than Rotten Tomatoes gives it. The story was good, not great, not bad, but just good. 65. Jet Jackson, the movie, 2001. The famous Jet Jackson TV series stands as one of the more memorable Disney Channel properties, with the titular Jackson, Lee Thompson Young, playing a secret agent on a show within the show. While never the most beloved series, it had a devoted enough following to earn itself a DCOM that saw Jackson switch lives with his fictional TV counterpart. The film doesn't really stand the test of time compared to other DCOM classics, but it deserves a spot on the list for its unique premise and for keeping the franchise alive beyond its 3 seasons. 64. Stepsister from Planet Weird, 2000. Teen angst ain't easy, especially when you're not from this planet. Megan Larson, Courtney Draper, and Ariel Cola, Tamara Hope, couldn't be any more different. Megan's a social climber looking for love with cool boy-next-door cutter, Tom Wright, and Ariel's a bright pink bubble from the planet Circulon, now in the form of a blonde-haired, well-spoken teen with a penchant for Coca-Cola. The two have trouble seeing eye to eye, but when the Emperor of Ariel's planet arrives and disturbs the peace, Megan and Ariel put their differences aside to defeat him with a little wind power. Ah, family bonding. 63. Up, Up, and Away, 2000. Now that superheroes are a global blockbuster industry, many are calling for more diversification of the genre. In this context, it's fun to remember Up, Up, and Away. The movie mostly focuses on the relationship between a misfit, normal son and his superpowered family, and it remains one of the most diverse superhero movies ever, of any type. 62. Horse Sense, 1999. Heartwarming drama about 2 cousins who have personal differences but pull together to save the family home. When a spoilt youngster is sent to stay at his cousin's Montana ranch, the 2 boys initially fight, but unite when they learn the ranch is in danger of being lost. 61. Don't Look Under the Bed, 1999. Just about every kid is scared of what could be under their bed. Disney, taking advantage of that, created a somewhat memorable tale about the bogeyman. Was it inventive? No. Was it scary? Kind of. Would we rewatch it if it were on? Probably. 60. Radio Rebel, 2012. Super shy girl Tara discovers her voice when she hosts a radio show as the mysterious Radio Rebel. However, with her secret in danger of being revealed, she has to find a way to keep it from coming out or telling the world who she really is. 59. Under Wraps, 1997. Disney Channel's Halloween-themed films give more mature scary movies a run for their money, mixing fun and fear together with a little bit of heart. In Under Wraps, some kids befriend a mummy, whom they're initially terrified of, because who wouldn't be, with far more problems than just being dead. The unlikely friendship highlights the lesson that one shouldn't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a mummy by its wrapping, and manages to be absurdly, as in this movie is flat-out absurd, amusing all the while. 58. Susie Q, 1996. The ghost of a girl, Amy Jo Johnson, who died in 1955, appears to a troubled teen, Justin Whalen, living in her old house. This is a sweet movie that is very family-friendly and not scary in the least. This movie is a fun culture clash of the 50s and 90s. I recommend it. 57. The Other Me, 2000. When Will Browning is threatened with military summer school if he doesn't get better grades, he decides to do a science project that will definitely get an A. So he buys some ocean pups, unhatched sea creatures that will look spectacular, but he hasn't bargained for the cloning agent that the unscrupulous manufacturers have put in the kit. Next thing he knows, there's another him. This movie is funny, heartwarming, and positive. 56. Model Behavior, 2000. Two teen girls have strikingly similar looks, yet one's a glasses, wearing self-described geek, and the other's a successful model. Both are dissatisfied with their lives and would give anything to change. Then one day they meet and decide the grass is definitely greener, so they trade places. Not only does this turn their lives upside down, but it changes the girls forever. That means double trouble. 55. Mostly Ghostly, Who Let the Ghosts Out, 2008. I always loved this Halloween movie. I loved the part where Max was running from the ghost in the ghost world. It was so suspenseful. Aspiring magician Max Doyle, Sterling Bowman, discovers two lost ghosts, Nikki, Luke Benward, and Tara, Madison Pettis, haunting the basement of his family's home, and agrees to help them find eternal rest. In exchange, Max's newfound friends set out to help him win the heart of Tracy, Ali Lohan, the most popular girl at his school. But when their magical antics make them the targets of an evil apparition, Fears, Brian Stepanek, the trio must stop his maniacal plan for Halloween. 54. Hatching Pete, 2009. After taking over as the school mascot for his friend Cletus, Pete starts to see that his new routine is a hit among the school. However, everyone still believes it's Cletus in the suit, leading him to become more popular while Pete stays behind. 53. Jumping Ship, 2001. Michael has big plans to show his cousin Tommy a good time aboard a luxury yacht until he discovers that the yacht he's chartered is actually an old rusted fishing boat. But when modern-day pirates chase the fishing boat, the boys are forced to jump ship, leaving them stranded on a desert island with the boat's captain, Jake Hunter. It's a fun movie to watch, but somewhat predictable. 52. My Date with the President's Daughter, 1998. Duncan, Will Friedle, is just an ordinary high school student. Hallie, Elizabeth Harnoy, dreams of an ordinary life, but is actually the daughter of the President of the United States, Dabney Coleman, living with a high profile and a rigid schedule. The unlikely pair happen to meet at the local mall, and Duncan nervously asks Hallie out, unaware of her family situation. When their eventual date is ruined by the intrusive Secret Service, the young lovebirds cut loose for a night of mischief. This was a great movie. Will always handles his acting with care. He becomes the characters so well, I forget that it isn't real. 51. Good Luck, Charlie, It's Christmas, 2011. Separated from the rest of the family en route to stay with their grandparents for Christmas, Teddy and Amy try to make their own way. The pair ends up being rescued in time for a happy festive season. Very funny Christmas movie of the beloved Disney sitcom, Good Luck Charlie. This movie is adventurous, fun, and Christmassy yet summery, as it's mostly set in sunny Palm Springs. This movie shows family rivalry and crazy obstacles in order to have a good Christmas. 50. Going to the Mat, 2004. Jake is a talented musician and also blind. When his family moves from New York to Utah, he must find another hobby which will help him make friends. He discovers wrestling is one of the few sports where blind people compete on the same level as sighted ones, so becomes a wrestler. As his team improves, he learns valuable lessons about himself. The story was pretty entertaining, and the portrayal of the blind was pretty original too. You don't see wrestling featured in high school movies very often, let alone consider it a sport the blind can participate in. And it was nice to see things like beeping backboards in basketball as another way to incorporate the blind into everyday things they usually couldn't have participated in before. I also really loved the music featured in the movie, especially the guitar pieces Jace played. It's definitely worth taping if you can catch one of the repeats. 49. Frenemies, 2012. Bella Thorne and Zendaya Coleman, who play Rocky and Cece in hit Disney Channel series Shake It Up, star in this Disney Channel original movie. It is a comedy about three pairs of friends whose relationships go from good to bad and back again. Several couples fall out over girls, boys, and work. Can all these couples settle their differences and be friends again? This movie is seriously the best Disney Channel original movies. It really tells you that BFF sometimes can be enemies and can be best friends again. I really recommend watching this, and I really love how the movie is showing a different kind of story of the character. Like it shows a different perspective, which in the movie, since it is only 1 hour and 30 minutes. So like they put 3 stories from a different character. If you have a best friends, this movie is perfect for you since this movie taught you that best friends can be enemies with some fight. 48. You Wish, 2003. After wishing on a special coin that his brother never existed, Alex's life is suddenly different, and his brother is a famous TV star. Despite having a better life than before, he realizes how much he misses his brother and tries to find a way to reverse the wish to return everything back to normal. This movie was great. 47. Avalon High, 2010. When Allie transfers to Avalon High, she soon realizes that her new classmates are reincarnations of King Arthur and his court, and she must defeat traitor Mordred. I love the movie. They made the movie in a high school setting to relate to their audience, which is mostly from 9 to 13. They were not trying to make it realistic. And how do you know the school was not in England? It doesn't say whether it's in the United States or England, so you're making that fact based on a guess. Also, the point of the movie wasn't about Arthur. It was about how anyone, no matter how big or small, can do or be anything. On top of that, they were also showing it to be gender equality, because a woman could be King Arthur, so it doesn't always have to be a man. In that situation, it's saying that a woman can be an even greater King Arthur than a man. 46. Girl vs. Monster, 2012. A tween discovers on Halloween that she is a 5th-generation monster hunter. The monsters are out to stop her before she begins her calling. This was one of the best movies I have ever seen. After watching this, I became one of Olivia Holt's biggest fans. Literally every movie or show she plays in, I just love her more. 45. Zapped, 2014. A bright student and talented dancer struggling with changes in life, including a new family and school, finds a phone app that magically allows her to control boys. This teen film has just the right jokes for its target audiences. The plot is formulaic, but it works. It is a smash between Mean Girls and Step Up, which I enjoyed very much. As a result, I also enjoyed this film as well. Even the enemy looks like Amanda Seyfried. I like the energetic dance moves, the youthful energy, and the great songs. The underlying message is very positive as well. 44. Dadnapped, 2009. Melissa has a bad case of sibling rivalry. She's actually jealous of a teenage spy in the bestseller written by her dad, and when she's kidnapped by a group of fanatical fans, it's up to her to emulate her rival's superhero skills to rescue him. The first time I saw this movie, I love it. I couldn't get enough of it. Especially loved Emily Osment's song, Hero in Me. It's super catchy, and she has the voice of a wonderful singer. 43. Xenon, the Sequel, 2001. Xenon sneaks back to Earth in an effort to find out the big secret behind her space station, which is set to be shut down soon. She bans everyone that she knows so they can help save it before everyone else returns to Earth, and the home that she has always known is gone for good. 42. Stuck in the Suburbs, 2004. Basically every fangirl's dream, Stuck in the Suburbs is about 2 girls, Brittany and Natasha, who accidentally trade phones with pop star Taran Killam. Yes, Saturday Night Live's Taran Killam, who plays Jordan Cahill, a singer who is tired of his record company controlling him. When Brittany and Natasha prank Jordan's stylist into cutting off all of his hair, Jordan sees it as a step toward individuality. The girls work to get Jordan his phone back and help Jordan become the singer he really wants to be. 41. Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, 2003. It was refreshing to see a depiction of a young boy's passion for cooking in this 2003 DCOM, even if it did come with the stereotypical apron and Eddie Crocker jokes. Taylor Ball delivers a winning portrayal as a high schooler whose father wants him to be the next A-Rod, while he secretly aspires to be a Tyler Florence. The cooking sequences are cool to watch, and maybe it's the nostalgia talking, but the recipes Eddie concocts look pretty damn delectable. Well, not his earlier attempts. 40. Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie, 2009. Fans of the show knew bits of Waverly Place's lore as exposition for the Russo family's setup of 3 wizard kids learning magic from their ex-wizard dad Jerry and mortal mom Teresa. Wizards of Waverly Place. The movie turned the wizardly backstory into an epic adventure, opening a gateway for young unbeknownst fantasy fans everywhere, while also delivering a classically wholesome story about the importance of family and a parent's unconditional love. The most fun comes from watching young Selena Gomez as Alex, the reason we all were carrying our Harry Potter wands and our Hunger Games combat boots for years, using magic in every single way a kid could for both good, manifesting live subtitles to translate Spanish into English, and bad, accidentally wishing your parents never met. Sibling love, and Teresa exercising her mortal mom greatness, saves the day in this unforgettable DCOM. 39. 16 Wishes, 2010. 16 Wishes is a 2010 teen fantasy comedy television film directed by Peter DeLuise and written by Annie DeYoung, starring Debbie Ryan and Jean-Luc Bilodeau. It premiered on June 25, 2010, on Disney Channel in the United States, and on July 16, 2010, on Family Channel in Canada. The film was the most watched cable program on the day of its premiere on the Disney Channel. In addition, 16 Wishes introduced Ryan to new audiences, such as the contemporary adult audiences since the movie received high viewership in the adults demographic, 18-34. The film was the second most watched program on cable during the week of its premiere. This movie was the true meaning of, you're an adult longer than you are a child. Enjoy it because adulthood is more than freedom and just wanting to have fun. 38. Starstruck, 2010. Regular teen Jessica Olsen and teen superstar Christopher Wilde randomly meet one night, causing them to go on a crazy adventure around Los Angeles together. Christopher soon realizes that being famous is not all that it turns out to be and must decide between doing what he loves or what everyone else expects him to do. 37. Minutemen, 2008. Time travel for a good cause? Sign us up. What made this DCOM both fun and memorable is that the Minutemen used their time-traveling abilities to help fellow students caught in embarrassing situations, but audiences also learn the importance of not losing sight of oneself. Not to mention, this film features a young Nicholas Braun pre-Succession fame, so we have no choice but to stan automatically. 36. The Sweet Life Movie, 2011. When Cody receives an opportunity to study at the Gemini Institute, a high-tech center which studies dynamics between twins, he and Zach find themselves connected in a way they never have been before. When one twin experiences a sensation, the other twin feels it. While this newfound power helps the boys see eye to eye for the first time in their lives, it ultimately puts them in more danger. I loved the TV show, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, the spin-off, The Sweet Life on Deck, and I loved the movie. 35. Cowbells, 2006. Ali and AJ Michalka make their acting debut together as Taylor and Courtney Callum in this hilarious DCOM. The spoiled sisters must go to work at their father's dairy factory after carelessly causing a fire in their house. While at first, no one respects them, and they make mistake after mistake on the job, they soon realize the importance of working hard and help save the factory from a fraud who steals money, meant for the workers' paychecks. 34. Jump In, 2007. Not every hit DCOM is a musical, but they usually have something that you can groove and move to. That's definitely the case for Jump In. There are no standard musical numbers, but there is double dutching, which is just as awesome to break it down to. Corbin Bleu from High School Musical plays Izzy, a high school boxer living life in his dad's shadow, who realizes he loves double dutch when his next-door neighbor and crush, Mary, played by Keke Palmer, asks him to step in for a friend in a local tournament. This movie is basically High School Musical if you replace basketball with boxing, singing with double dutch, and Troy and Gabriella with Izzy and Mary. You can pretty much figure the ending is epic. 33. Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior, 2006. Brenda Song stars as the reluctant heroine, Wendy, who cares more about popularity than saving the world, even after she finds out it's her destiny to stop the villainous Yanlo. But her priorities change when Monk Shen, Shin Koyamada, teaches her about Chinese culture and trains her in Kung Fu, which makes for some exciting fight scenes. And although it was already a cliché, even in 2006, for Asian characters to only show up in martial arts movies, this film went deeper than you'd expect for a DCOM. It was surprisingly moving to see Wendy and her parents, third and second generation Chinese Americans, grapple with their identity after losing touch with their roots. Song's charming performance also helped redeem the film's faults, and this role, along with her scene-stealing London Tipton in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, cemented her title as one of the reigning queens of the Disney Channel. 32. Pixel Perfect, 2004. A super young, super cute Ricky Ullman stars in this DCOM about a computer programmer, Roscoe, who makes a humanoid hologram named Loretta to sing and dance for his best friend Sam's band. When Loretta makes the band a hit, Sam starts to get jealous, especially because Roscoe, whom Sam has a crush on, seems infatuated by the perfect Loretta. When the world goes crazy for the holographic pop star, everything spins out of control. 31. Get a Clue, 2002. Who doesn't love a young Lindsay Lohan film? In Get a Clue, Lilo stars as Lexi Gold, a popular high school student who writes an article about a teacher who then goes missing. With her friends, including an adorable Brenda Song, Lexi goes undercover to solve the mystery of her teacher's disappearance, using cool gadgets and their fashion intuition. Lexi realizes a detective is a fraud because a New York detective could never afford a platinum watch, a Pomoni suit, and alligator boots. 30. True Confessions, 2002. In an effort to win her own TV show, True Walker decides to film a documentary about her brother and his disability. As she films her experiences, she soon finds out how life is really like for the rest of her family, while also finally getting the chance to show what it's been for her. 29. Gotta Kick It Up, 2002. Before she starred in Superstore or Ugly Betty, or even the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, America Ferrera was Yolanda in the 2002 movie Gotta Kick It Up. She's one of the leaders of an unlikely middle school dance club that, in classic Disney fashion, is hoping to defy the odds to make it to regionals and eventually nationals. Except in this movie, the girls in the group aren't just staring down stiff competition. They're battling poor funding from the school, a lack of belief from their respective support systems, cultural norms, uneasy family dynamics, and, in the beginning, a coach who refuses to buy in. 28. Descendants, 2015. This one has become a bit bittersweet considering the untimely passing of Cameron Boyce, but his performance throughout this franchise as Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil, still lives on. This movie puts a twist on Disney's own classic fairy tales by telling a new story from the point of view of the descendants of the villains. Carlos and his friends Mal, Maleficent's daughter, Evie, Evil Queen's daughter, and Jay, Jafar's son, are destined to grow up just like their parents. But they discover that they can choose their own destiny. The story is very interesting, and the singing and dancing are pretty spectacular. 27. Phantom of the Megaplex, 2000. This one makes the list because as a middle school-aged viewer, it was legitimately terrifying. Pete, Taylor Handley, tries to manage a movie premiere at the theater where he works while trying to impress his girlfriend and dealing with his siblings running around the multi-screen megaplex. Meanwhile, an unknown apparition seeks to destroy the evening by wreaking havoc on each theater, theming its disasters based on each movie playing. We have no idea how Disney got Mickey Rooney involved, but his endearing performance as a movie-loving older man makes you believe in the magic of cinema before Eli Wallach does the same as Arthur in The Holiday 6 years later. 26. Brink, 1998. Let's blade, brah. Has there ever been a more perfectly 90s construction of words? Along with the hilariously nostalgic lingo, Brink earns its place in the pantheon of great D-SOMs for mixing adrenaline, drama, and one-time Disney golden boy, Eric Von Detten. The movie tells the story of a teenager who loves inline skating with his friends, but is lured to the cruel and dishonest Team X-Blads to make money for his struggling family. In the end, we all learn what it truly means to be a soul skater. 25. Sky High, 2005. This is an instant classic of Disney Channel superhero movies I love when it came on. At a school in the sky where teens learn how to be superheroes, Will Stronghold, Michael Angarano, lands in a class for students who show special promise. Classmate Gwen, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, quickly cozies up to Will, but it's soon clear that she has other motives. When he learns that Gwen's mother is a villain who was defeated by his father, Steve Stronghold, Kurt Russell, Will realizes that Gwen is aiming for revenge, and he rushes to a school dance in the hope of stopping her. 24. Princess Protection Program, 2009. This classic Disney Channel flick saw then real-life besties, Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato, join together for a Disney Channel royal spy flick. In it, Demi is a royal princess named Rosalinda, who's hiding out in Louisiana from the evil General Kane, who is dead set on capturing her so he can take over her country of Costa Estrella. Selena portrays Carter, the regular girl tasked with teaching Princess Rosie how to be a normal girl. Even though the girls don't get along at first, they become quick friends when they realize they both have something to learn from each other, and together, they have the potential to rule the school. The only thing standing in the way of their awesome year is that General Kane will stop at nothing to find and capture Rosie. This movie will take you back to the good old days when Demi and Selena were friendship goals. 23. Cloud 9, 2014. A girl who frequently snowboards is forced to train with a guy, an ex-champion of the sport, after an unexpected event. However, she has to prove to him that she is a true professional. This is a movie about snowboarding. It was really good. The movie was a fun watch. The plot, characters development, storyline was great. The romance in there was good too. I would recommend anyone watch this. This movie would make a great movie for a family to watch too. 22. Another Cinderella Story, 2008. Many of you may have forgot this masterpiece. Mary lives with her evil stepmom, sisters, and slaves for them. At the high school masquerade ball, she gets to dance with her pop idol Joey. Running home before midnight, she drops her Zune. Joey tries to find the girl who fits the Zune. He decides to go out on a school-wide search to find her, and she could be anyone, even her sisters. But she's got other problems. She's been rejected from a top dance school because of an accident, and has to show the world what she's got in order to move out of her house. 21. Geek Charming, 2011. Dylan Schoenfield, Woodlands Academy's top girl, accidentally drops her fashionable and very expensive handbag into the mall fountain. She is surprised when film geek Josh Rosen retrieves it for her. However, in exchange for him rescuing her bag, Dylan has to agree to be the subject of Josh's documentary. Dylan hopes the film will help her campaign to become Blossom Queen and claims that winning is her main goal in life. This movie had messages that were just absolutely beautiful for the youth of today, and possibly even the older folk. It's not about how much money you have or what you enjoy doing. It's about the connection you have with a person, and it doesn't matter what the people around you, your friends or anyone else, think. If someone makes you happy, keep them close. 20. Motocrossed, 2001. Andrew Carson is a star in the motocross world. Even though his twin sister Andrea loves to ride too, their father feels like these kinds of sports aren't for girls. But when Andrew gets hurt in an accident, there's no way he can participate in the next big race. This is Andrea's chance. While their dad heads to Europe to find someone to take his son's place, Andrea secretly trains and takes part in the race with her mom's help so that she can prove she's got what it takes. 19. Teen Beach Movie, 2013. We thought Disney didn't make DComs like they used to until this one came around. Starring a young Maya Mitchell, Teen Beach Movie is about two kids, Brady and Mac, who accidentally get swept into an old 1960s beach movie. They must wait until the end of the movie to go back home, but in the meantime, they mess up the plot when the main characters fall in love with Brady and Mac instead of each other. In the end, Brady and Mac make it back home, shortly before some of the cast of the 60s movie arrives on shore in the present day, setting up the plot for Teen Beach Movie 2. 18. The Even Stevens Movie, 2003. Shia LaBeouf has had some major roles since his time as a Disney star, but this movie will forever be one of his best. The Even Stevens Movie is about the Stevens family going on vacation together after a random guy comes to their house and offers them a trip to an island they've never heard of. They end up stranded, but what they don't realize is they're on a reality show and everyone else is in on it. 17. Rip Girls, 2000. A 13-year-old, Camilla Bell, learns to surf while visiting Hawaii for the first time to see a plantation she inherited. I've got to give Disney credit for this one. Unlike most made-for-TV Disney Channel movies, Rip Girls shines through and delivers a decent plot and beautiful settings. All of the child actors do an excellent job and are able to make the movie believable. Definitely a movie for all ages. It's somewhere below the action of Blue Crush and above the absurdity of Lilo and Stitch. It's respectful of Hawaiian culture and tradition and portrays surfing in a nice light. I'd recommend this movie to anyone willing to watch the Disney Channel. 16. Twitches, 2005. One of the spookier DComs, Twitches revolves around two twin sisters with magical powers, Alex and Cameron, who were separated at birth and adopted by two different families. On their 21st birthday, the twins bump into each other for the first time. That's when they learn about their past and the magical land of Coventry that needs their help. The two sisters join forces to learn more about their powers and save Coventry. 15. My Babysitter's a Vampire, 2010. When geeky 14-year-old Ethan and his buddy babysit his little sister and almost get her killed, Ethan's parents come up with the worst punishment possible, a babysitter, but Ethan's about to find out that his babysitter is a fledgling vampire. I really like this movie and the TV series as well. It's the best show I've seen so far. Besides, it's the only scary thing I can watch. LOL. Same, my favorite character is Ethan. But it's pretty hard to choose which character is my favorite because they are all really funny and cool. I gave it 5 stars because of how good it is and how I grew up watching the movie and show. I just wish they didn't leave us on a big cliffhanger at the end of the TV show. I would laugh watching them. That's why I gave it 5 stars for how awesome the characters are and it's so funny. If there was a lot of stars, I will give it 10, but there is 5. 14. The 13th Year, 1999. One of the best things about DComs is that they aren't afraid to go genre. The 13th Year addresses similar themes as other movies on this list, transitioning from childhood to adolescence and learning to accept responsibility for your actions, but does so through a fun dose of mermaid mythology. A successful high school swimmer gaining an unfair advantage through his sudden sprouting of gills and webbed feet remains one of the most fun Teen Wolf riffs to date. 13. The Luck of the Irish, 2001. This DCom is one of the tops of the morning to ya. When high school basketball star Kyle, Ryan Merriman, tries to learn more about his family heritage for a school project, he learns he's Irish the hard way, by losing the family's lucky coin to an evil leprechaun and watching his family of leprechauns revert to their original forms, complete with red hair and pointy ears. You know, relatable teenage stuff. It puts a fun spin on the leprechaun myth, and the climax where Kyle battles the villainous Russell, a delightful Timothy Omenson, in traditional competitions like wrestling and step dance is both hilarious and exciting. But ultimately, it's the message that we make our own luck that charmed its way into our hearts and has these Irish eyes smiling. 12. Johnny Tsunami, 1999. Plucked from his surfing life in Hawaii, Johnny Kapahala, Johnny Tsunami is actually his grandfather, faces the cold weather and even chillier competition on the slopes of Vermont as he adapts to the snowboarding community. One of the finest fish-out-of-water DComs around, Johnny Tsunami also acts as a mini Avengers of Disney Channel movie stars, with actors from Xenon and Jet Jackson appearing in supporting roles. From giving a snowboarding community soap opera-level lore to the ups and downs of Johnny's athletic and romantic lives, Johnny Tsunami is one of the most fun DCOM rides, no matter the weather. 11. Double Teamed, 2002. DCOM movies were never short on inspirational, uplifting messages, and Double Teamed drew on real life to score with its girl power message. Based on real professional basketball players Heather and Heidi Burge, it follows two high school girls who are pushed by their overly competitive father to play basketball in pursuit of college scholarships. While initially reluctant to give in to his demands, the two sisters learn the value of teamwork and a love of the game that ultimately propels them to the WNBA. Other DCOM entries might handle it with more subtlety, but you can't knock the winning combo of sibling rivalry, overbearing parents, and team sport as a metaphor for life. This one is nothing but net. 10. Let It Shine, 2012. Disney Channel has become famous for its numerous music-themed movies, but this one is a standout. It steps away from the usual formula, not only by showcasing rap music instead of pop music, but also the story is also unique. Cyrus dreams of being a rapper, and with his drive and optimistic storytelling through songs, he just might have what it takes, even in spite of his disapproving father. But when his best friend, Chris, inadvertently takes his lyrics and goes after the girl of his dreams, Cyrus sees the life he wants slipping away. Cyrus must reclaim his voice, make things right with his friends, wow the world, and his father, with his positive and uplifting lyrics. 9. Smart House, 1999. The LeVar Burton, directed. Yes, that LeVar Burton Smart House isn't just a movie about a, smart house. It's a movie about a boy losing his mother, his resistance to change, and technology's fast and inevitable takeover. What earns the movie this top spot on the list is its combination of sob-worthy emotion. That scene where Ben, Ryan Merriman, revisits home videos of his late mom continues to be one of the most moving moments to air on the Disney Channel, and lighthearted glee, like when Ben leads his party guests through a now-classic dance routine to Five's Slam Dunk, Da Funk, showing that kids can be just as complex as adults. Plus, Katie Sagal's turn as the good gone, evil gone good resident hologram is nothing short of iconic. 8. Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century, 1999. Xenon puts a new twist on a classic fish-out-of-water narrative. This time, the story is about a young girl getting sent to Earth after spending her entire life in a space station. Sorry, she was grounded. Get it? And that's the perfect example of how Xenon never takes itself too seriously. It has ridiculous language, ridiculous clothes, and is ridiculously fun. It will forever be one of the most addictive things Disney's ever done. 7. Halloween Town, 1998. If you don't squeal with excitement when this movie pops up on your TV every October and you hear the familiar opening music, you clearly don't know what you're missing. Halloween Town explores what the world would be like if there were another dimension hidden to mortals, where supernatural creatures live together in a perpetual state of Halloween. Marnie and her siblings overhear from their grandmother one Halloween that they come from a long line of witches, so they follow her back to her dimension. This is a holiday movie that isn't at all scary. It's fun and funny throughout, and makes you wish that there was magic in the world for real. 6. Camp Rock, 2008. Camp Rock is what you get when you take two of Disney Channel's hottest musical acts and make a movie with them. This summer flick sees the Jonas Brothers and Demi Lovato playing alternate reality versions of themselves called Connect 3 and Mitchie. Mitchie is a hopeful musician who has to deal with the pressure of feeling inferior to her fellow Camp Rock attendees because they all have super famous parents, and she only got her slot at camp because her mom is the caterer. Meanwhile, Shane is struggling to break out from the chains of his label and make more meaningful music. In the end, they're the only two who can help each other embrace who they truly are deep down inside. This movie kicked off the real-life ship Jemmy that will never die. And trust me, you'll be able to watch their finale performance of This Is Me 1,000 times without it ever getting old. 5. Cadet Kelly, 2002. The story of a free-spirited city girl caught between her individuality and her duty to others. Cadet Kelly might as well be the DC-OM version of the Princess Diaries. But instead of finding out that she's a princess, Kelly Collins, Hilary Duff, gets sent to military school. When her new stepdad, Sir Gary Cole, lands his dream job as the commandant of the same academy his father once ran, Kelly is thrown into a world of uniforms and obstacle courses, presided over by no-nonsense Cadet Captain Jennifer Stone, Christy Carlson Romano. The two go to battle over everything from drill competitions to the school's cutest guy, Shawn Ashmore. But the relationship that saves the day in the end is the one between Kelly and her family, and ribbon dancing. 4. The Cheetah Girls, 2003. 4 singing and dancing New York teens who call themselves the Cheetah Girls are gearing up to compete in their school's talent show when they're discovered by a famous record producer named Jackal Johnson. But when Jackal tries to make the band of friends into something they're not, it draws a wedge between the besties. The girls have to decide if the shot at superstardom is worth risking their cheetah sisterhood. This musical flick stars Raven-Symoné at her Disney Channel Prime, and the music and dancing is beyond cheetah fierce with its super powerful girl power message. 3. The Color of Friendship, 2000. There's a reason why this film took home an Emmy Award. Mari and Piper couldn't be totally different from one another. After begging her family to let her study abroad in the United States, she soon starts to learn the harmful effects of segregation in her native South Africa. 2. Lemonade Mouth, 2011. Of all the DC-OM musicals, Lemonade Mouth feels the most like it could have happened at your school. In it, 5 ragtag friends meet at detention and realize they have one major thing in common: music. They start a band called Lemonade Mouth so they can compete in a competition called Rising Star. But while practicing to smash the competition, they also get involved in a school protest against removing the school's lemonade machine. It sounds random, but it's so high stakes when you're watching. It also discusses real-life problems such as abuse, bullying, etc. You're gonna love rocking to the jams in this flick. 1. High School Musical, 2006. First, take off your cool cap and check the scoreboard for a second. High School Musical's first broadcast reached 7.7 million viewers. Its soundtrack went triple platinum. Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens launched into household name superstardom. And the film's 2007 sequel, also a DC-OM but not quite list-worthy, would become one of the single most watched basic cable shows ever. There's no denying the sheer status quo-shaking power of HSM, but more importantly, it's actually a pretty damn good musical in the grand theatrical tradition. Ensemble numbers, karaoke ballads, and whatever the hell Ryan, Lucas Grabeel, and Sharpay, Ashley Tisdale, did all bubble together into a cohesive teen tuner, worthy of following in the footsteps of Grease and Bye Bye Birdie. And perhaps its biggest achievement of all? It made musical theater kids like basketball.